Hello guys, welcome back to JVM Football Channel, and today we'll be making a tier list of the best players under 25. Some of the best players under 25 that I thought of. It will just be ranking how well they did this season. Some things will be more regarding to team accomplishments, but mostly I'll be counting on their individual brilliance and how well they've done this season. So let's start with an easy one. We'll start with Mbappe. Letting all those Mbappe to Real Madrid things aside and just focusing on how Mbappe performed this season for Real Madrid, we have to put Mbappe straight up here. Mbappe is right now the best player at PSG, and that is speaking volumes, especially considering that PSG have Neymar and Messi on the team. Mbappe is playing on the same team as Messi and Neymar, and he is the best player on the team. He's the go-to man. He is him for PSG, and this season he's been the best scorer in Ligue 1, and although PSG got bounced off the Champions League early in the round of 16, in 8 games Mbappe scored 6 goals and assisted 6 times. In Ligue 1, he's in 35 games, he scored 28 goals and assisted 19 times, 19 assists, and that brings it all to a total of 39 goals and 26 assists in 46 games played. Mbappe may just be the best player in the world. You can put Benzema ahead of him, you can put Lewandowski ahead of him or Salah, but there is a case to be made for Mbappe, especially this season. And when we're talking about the best players under 25, Mbappe, when you're talking about Mbappe, you might as well just say Mbappe is the best player in the world. No age limit, whatever the age, Mbappe is him. Yeah, Mbappe world class season. And then we'll move on to Haaland. Again, let's just get 2 quick ones, 2 easy ones. No much of an argument here. I'm going to put Haaland at world class as well. I think Haaland had a world class season, and although Haaland, he was injured for the majority for long periods of time this season, even with that time out, in 23 games played this season in the Bundesliga, Haaland has managed to score 20 goals and assisted 5 times. That's more goal contributions this season than games played. In the past few years, again, this is just about this season, but I have to add this when I'm talking about Haaland. In the past 3 years, Haaland has scored over 100 goals. Another guy that is him. Another guy that is really, regardless of age, regardless of what cap you want to put on them, Haaland is another player that is on that world-class level with the likes of, again, Lewandowski, Benzema, and Salah. I'm just naming 3 players that were amazing this season. Haaland's on that level as well, and that is why Manchester City went out of their way to sign Haaland. Out of the way said, but in a good deal nonetheless. And then we'll move on to another player that, in my opinion, this may not be as easy to put in the world class as Mbappe and Haaland, but a player that I think has had also a world class season, and that is Vinicius. No, Vini didn't put quite the same numbers that Haaland and Mbappe put up, but he still put up world-class numbers. In 52 games played, Vini has scored this season 22 goals and has managed to assist 20 times. And he scored the winning goal for the Champions League for Real Madrid. So for that alone, I think I'd put him in the world class. But again, I've talked about this. I've made probably 4 or 5 videos about Vini alone this year. But I can't stress this enough. At the beginning of the season, I said that if Real Madrid were going to have a good season this year, they needed Vini to step up. He did step up. Last year, he scored 3 goals in La Liga in 30 games played. This year, he has scored 22 goals and assisted 20 times. 42 goal contributions in 52 games played. That is as world-class as you can get. And Vini is really the future of Real Madrid, a player that Real Madrid should be looking forward to building around. And it is a shame that he won't be paired up with Mbappe. I think that the duo of Vinicius and Mbappe would be very scary. But nonetheless, Vini has had a world-class season. And now the next players, I won't say that they're not world-class. You could put some of these guys in the world-class tier, but they're not as quick or as straightforward as these 3 that I put up. And next player, we're going to go with Eduardo Camavinga. Camavinga has had a great season for Real Madrid. He's helped them to win the Champions League. Camavinga, a player that came from Ligue 1, I personally doubted Camavinga's ability to go into Real Madrid and translate the same success, but all he has shown this season, especially coming off the bench in those knockout games of the Champions League, is that Camavinga is also the future for Real Madrid, at least in the midfield area. Modric and Kroos are not getting any younger, neither is Casemiro, so Real Madrid need to start recruiting the next pool of talent, of young players that will, take their place in the midfield. And right now they have Tchouaméni, Camavinga, and Valverde. Pretty good. And just regarding Camavinga alone, I'll say that Camavinga had a good season. I won't say he had a very good season. Actually, I might say he had a very good season. The reason why I'm not putting him at very good is because just individually, Camavinga didn't have the best of numbers. I was originally going to put him at nearly, but considering the type of impact that he had in Champions League, especially in the games against Chelsea and PSG, in those second halves where he came in and pretty much changed the game with Modric, the way him and Modric dominated the midfield was pretty impressive. So I won't put him at nearly, I'll put him at good. But the other players that I have are very good. I don't think Camavinga truly compares to those guys just yet. So yeah, we'll put Camavinga at good. Then we have Gavi. And this is kind of the same. With midfielders, it's a bit more difficult because with a striker, forwards, wingers, you just look at their numbers and you can pretty much tell goals and assists where they're at. But with midfielders, you really need to have watched those games and looked at other stats to really understand how well they did this season. And for Gavi this year, I have to put Gavi very good. Gavi had a very good season. Gavi's what? 17, 18? Not 19 yet, for sure. That's for sure. And for him to have played 34 games for Barcelona this season, for him to have taken the place of some of the greatest players, some of the greatest midfielders of all time, and to have performed at such a level that he helped Barcelona to finish second, Gavi has had a very good season, and there are a lot of eyes on Gavi right now. He's one of the best midfielders for his age. No, not one of the best. Gavi is the best midfielder for his age. And that's why I'll put him ahead of Camavinga at very good. I think that individually, Gavi just had the better season. That's really what it comes down to. Then we come down to Saka. And with Saka, yeah, I was thinking if I could put Saka at world class, but not yet. Saka's not on that level yet. He is a great player. He's had a good season. Some may even say very good season, but I wouldn't say so myself. Not that Saka hasn't played well. I mean, 11 goals and 7 assists. This is where I begin to change my mind, really. 11 goals and 7 assists in the Premier League. That's 18 goal contributions. And yeah, here's the thing. With Saka, I was just off of his play alone, of the impact that he brings to Arsenal, I was going to put him at very good, but I was going to deduct him some points because you compare some of the guys that are up here. But no, I'm not going to put Saka at good. I'm going to put Saka at very good. I think Saka had a very good season. He's close to that world-class level. It is really just his productivity needs to blossom like Vinny's productivity has blossomed this year. But yeah, Saka is quickly becoming Arsenal's go-to guy, and it will be interesting to see where he can land in the next few years. Very excited for Saka and Arsenal, and the future looks bright for these guys. Then we're going to go with Dusan Vlahovic. Vlahovic has had, I'll say, an interesting season because with Fiorentina, he was killing it. He was killing the Serie A. Vlahovic was quickly becoming the best striker in Serie A. Certainly the most productive striker. And if we're making a comparison to these guys and where Vlahovic stands, I would say that Vlahovic is pretty much on that world-class level. I probably should have added another tier, considering I'll probably put Mbappe, Haaland and Vinny ahead of Vlahovic. But if we're talking about where is Vlahovic closest to, is he closest to the level of Gavi and Saka, or is Vlahovic closest to the level of Vinny, Haaland and Mbappe? I think he is. And Vlahovic has also this season been very close to winning the Golden Boot in the Serie A. He's come to Juventus and helped the team to finish 4th after a horrendous start of the season. So yeah, I think Vlahovic is world-class level, and if these three don't watch out in the next season, he may just end up somewhere here or even here. So yeah, if these guys don't wake up, if they sleep, let's say that, because they are awake, they have been performing quite well. But if they're not careful, Vlahovic could really take the leap and end up being somewhere here next year. Okay, let's leave Vlahovic alone. Now we move on to... Actually, I was going to move on to Foden, but I want to talk about Fabio Vieira very quickly. Portuguese talent coming along. And with Vieira, the thing with Vieira is, although you could talk about the Primeira Liga, the Portuguese league, and how it's not on the same level as, let's say, the La Liga or the Premier League, and he hasn't really performed to that level in the Champions League either. But on his league and to the level that he has performed, Fabio has assisted 14 times and scored 6 goals. If we're talking about these numbers and how he helped Porto to win the league and how Arsenal went out of their way to go and sign him, Vieira had a very good season. And it will be interesting to see how he pairs with the rest of the players at Arsenal for next season, because Arsenal have a squad that could really, push towards that top 4. I won't say top 3, I'll say top 4, and could do wonders in the Europa League. They're going to sign Jesus. They already have Vieira. They're going to get Rafinha. And the squad this year with the likes of Saka, Odegaard, Smith Rowe, and co. A very, very, very good young pool of talent. And yeah, just regarding Vieira, I think he had a great season, and I'll be very excited to see what he can do next season with Arsenal. Then we'll move on to Foden. Sorry, I jumped Foden. Yeah, move on to Foden. And did Foden have as good of a season as he did last year? I think he had as good of a season. I think that last year the thing was, the demand that was for him. His numbers, you could say, aren't quite as good as he had last year, but still had a great season, really. 25 goal contributions across all competitions in 45 games played. In the Premier League, 20 games started, and really, I want to put Foden up here, but I won't put Foden up here. I'll put Foden in front of all of these guys at the very good. And here's why. All of the guys that are world class, they were really... It's hard not to put Foden up there, but I can't because of this 4. The standards they have set, the numbers that they have put up, and the impact they've had for their teams this year has been crazy. And I don't think Foden had as good of a season as he did, as those 4 guys did. Maybe if it was last season, especially considering where City was at the beginning of the season and the performances that Foden put up, I'd probably put Foden at world class last year. But I think that this season Foden just had a very good season and not world class, especially compared to these 4. I guess after that we can move on to probably my favorite player in this list, Jadon Sancho. And the thing with Sancho is he had a shocker this season. If we're talking about the best players under 25, I'll put this guy up here. I'll put this guy up here. I think that would be it. The top 6 players under 25. And all of these guys, I'll just have to sort them some way. But Sancho didn't perform on the same level as he had for the previous few seasons. For example, last year, let me just bring up his numbers very quick. For example, last year, Sancho finished the season with 20 goals and 20 assists. If we were going to base this list on last year, I'd have Sancho up here, and probably Foden too. But no, Foden's going to go in the very good tier. And Sancho, this season, I have to put him at the bottom. It was a shocker. Especially considering the expectations for him coming to United. He was meant to take up that right wing spot. Yes, United did underperform massively, and that did impact his performance. But the expectation for Sancho this year and what he delivered was just not it. And it's not like he didn't play games. He played 29 games in the Premier League. But 3 goals and 3 assists are just not it. It really hurts to put Sancho so low, but I have to. He didn't have that amazing of a season, and it really is just unfortunate for Jadon.